And what's going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993 coming at you for the first ever WWE live Raw review of my channel. That's right. I've been on this channel for 5 years now, and as I announced about a week and a half ago, I finally decided to do live Raw, SmackDown, and NXT reviews. Again, just so you know, again, the lead up to SummerSlam is going to be more like a trial run, just to see, if this is going to work for me, with stuff I already do on my channel, with the my schedule and such, but I think I'm going to be okay. And I think for a first Raw review, I think this is a pretty darn good episode to review after we got the crappy battleground last night on the SmackDown side. And it's sad because, a month ago I'm saying Team Blue all the way. Now it's turned to Team Red all the way because Raw's been better, not great every week, but it's been a lot better the past few weeks. And tonight's episode was a really solid episode. I don't really have too much to complain about anything for this episode. So if you're joining me live, please tune to the live chat to leave any comments you may have during this review. And let's get right to it. My first ever live Raw review. So we're going to start off, and this Raw took place in Washington, D.C. And no, before you ask, Donald Trump did not show up. A lot of people thought maybe he would, but nope, Donald Trump did not show up tonight. We start off with the Raw general manager, Curt Angle, coming out to the "You Suck" chants, of course. And he was, he came out to pretty much just, address, how things are going with him and his son, Jason Jordan, who was moved over to Raw last week after being revealed to be his long-lost son. I'll get to more of my thoughts on Jason Jordan and it being the reveal of Curt Angle's son later on. But the main reason why he really came out there was he wanted to address the situation for the WWE Universal Championship match at SummerSlam. Will we ever find out what his original plans were? Because he did say before he announced the match that he changed his mind. I'm actually very interested in wonder who would have Curt Angle picked. We could find that out down the line, maybe, if it could lead to a match with, either Curt Angle and Samoa Joe, or Curt Angle and Braun Strowman, or even Curt Angle and Roman Reigns, like any of the three. I'm fine with Curt seeing anyone of those three. So he's about to make the announcement, and first out comes who came out first? I'm trying to remember who came out first. Braun Strowman came out first, stating his case pretty much about how he wants to be in the Universal title match, which, obviously, yes. I mean, he beat Roman Reigns, a guy who already declared himself the #1 contender for the Universal Champion before Great Balls of Fire, and he lost his match. Braun Strowman beat Roman Reigns, and he even survived. They pretty much almost committed murder by Roman Reigns, almost killing Strowman, running him into that semi in the ambulance at Great Balls of Fire. So it's like, my goodness, with how good they've been building Braun Strowman, he's deserved to be in that match. Samoa Joe comes out, and despite coming up a little bit short, he's like, I was this close, and he make a strong case. And Samoa Joe, scary dude. You don't mess with him at all. He wants his match at SummerSlam, and he wants Brock Lesnar because he's not afraid of Brock Lesnar, and neither is he afraid of Braun Strowman, as he mentioned tonight. And then Roman Reigns comes out. And again, and I'm not going to keep saying it, you see the heel side of Roman. And, they're not going to officially turn him heel, but he is showing a more darker side, a more meaner side, coming out there, pretty much trash people, not being the good guy. I mean, if you want to make him, the smack-talking, baby face at least, but he's not this big, smiley, telling all these little jokes, the more serious side, then okay. I mean, it's all right, but you could really capitalize on it by turning Roman heel. Are they going to do that? No, they're not. But I have, in 2017, I'll give this. WWE has not been as good as 2016 so far in 2017. But I will give the fact that, hey, they have at least had better promos for Roman to read. I have enjoyed Roman's promos a lot more than I have since they started giving him a singles push this year. So he comes out, makes his case to how much he's accomplished, main eventing WrestleMania 3 years in a row, retiring The Undertaker, winning a tag team championship, the United States Championship, 3-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He's like, I deserve to be in this match. And yeah, and I think it was Strowman also made the case how he should be in the match because both Joe and Roman lost their matches at Great Balls of Fire. So then after arguing a little more, of course, which this was another really good promo, and this is, because I think this makes it Raw successful, it made you excited for SummerSlam. It felt like it was leading up to SummerSlam, and it felt storytelling and character development. That's what we needed, and that's what we've been getting on Raw. And it's unfortunately we're not getting on SmackDown, because who's now in charge of writing SmackDown? Road Dogg? My friend Daniel Guys mentioned to me tonight while we were watching Raw. It's like, did Ryan Ward for some reason switch over to Raw because SmackDown has been going downhill while Raw has been getting better? So I mean, maybe SmackDown will start picking up again now that we're off of the road, the battleground, since we can focus both on both brands can focus now on SummerSlam. But we'll see what happens. But anyway, so yeah, Curt makes the match official. It'll be a fatal 4-way, and this better be the main event at SummerSlam. It'll be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman at SummerSlam in a fatal 4-way, which I'm all for it. Give me the money. Take my money right now. I'm going to take that. It's going to be a killer main event at SummerSlam. As long as they don't, make these main events so short. Because is this me, or does it seem like a lot of pay-per-views anymore in WWE? They have these main events that seem like they're like, like the bigger matches are like more like in the middle of the show, and those like steal the show. But the main events have like seemed to have slowed down, like not been as long. Well, Battleground last night, the Wachabi prison match, but we're not going to talk about that. But yes, this segment was really good. It got me really excited for the Universal title match. Finally, even though it's been on Brock Lesnar, finally making the Universal title feel very important. The WWE Championship hasn't really felt as important since Jinder Mahal has had it, but with the build to it, you have like guys like Samoa Joe. I mean, Roman Reigns, Roman getting their title shot. But you know what? I mean, I'll take it right now. Braun Strowman and Samoa Joe getting their time to shot as well. And it shows that, like Roman Reigns can even, play well with these guys when he works with them. So I'll give him that as well. But yes, we got and then of course there was the big brawl afterwards, and we had like all the security and like the locker room kind of try to break up this brawl. And no matter what, you couldn't stop any of them. Like Strowman came out on top, which is good, of course. So I don't know who's going to win this match. I actually had a poll earlier I posted on Twitter. Let me pull it up, see here. Let's see who all thinks is going to win this match at SummerSlam. Let me pull this up here. All right, so far I only have 9 votes on this Twitter poll of who will win the fatal 4-way. 11% says Lesnar, 44% says Samoa Joe, 11% says Roman Reigns, and 34% says Braun Strowman. So a lot of people are picking Joe to win, which I'm all for that. Any of these guys can win the title. Well, let's get a title off of Brock. I like Brock, but I don't like him being a Universal Champion because the championship is never around and it loses that prestige. It's never really felt that good before. Like it's felt really flat and of course in design, and it doesn't have any prestige to it. But now if you just take the title off Brock, give it to one of these 3 guys, I think they're gonna make the title feel very prestiged. But yes, I talked a lot about the opening segment. Let's now move on to our first match of the night. It was the no disqualification match between Elias Samson and Finn Balor. Despite the fact it's a little bit like a low card match, since it's Samson's first feud on the main roster. I wasn't too crazy about Elias Samson first comes to the main roster, and I wanted Finn Balor to be in a better position than he was. I still don't get why they didn't have him and Bray Wyatt start feuding, after Extreme Rules. Instead, they had Bray Wyatt and Seth Rollins feud, which didn't really do much for any of them, as we all say. I mean, they had 2 like decent matches, but I just feel like it really got nowhere. But this matchup between Elias Samson and Finn Balor was a no DQ match. It started because last week's match ended in disqualification after Elias Samson attacked Finn Balor with his guitar. And I don't know about you guys, but I was a little confused by this. When Elias Samson was down at NXT, he was very, protective of the guitar. And he broke down. I think it was it Cassius Ohno in the Loser Leaves NXT match, destroyed Samson's guitar, and Samson broke down. there's wrestlers who have like artifacts or items of them that like whenever they get ruined, they break down. Like Bray Wyatt with his compound being burned down. Who else? Jericho when Dean Ambrose destroyed his jacket last year, like he had a breakdown. Seth when Sting threw Seth Rollins' statue in the gosh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, and in the garbage, like he had a breakdown there. It's like why would Samson attack with his guitar? That's confused me a little bit. But besides that, this actually was a pretty decent match between these two. And it was pretty much obvious that Finn Balor was about to win this match before Bray Wyatt interfered, hit the Sister Abigail. Samson gets the win. Okay, Samson wins the feud. I mean, okay, but it's going to lead to hopefully a good feud and a better feud for Bray Wyatt as him and Finn Balor are getting ready to have a feud. And it's just good, like dark characters could be a way to bring back the Demon. I'm sorry, I don't know about you guys, but I hate it whenever they call him the Demon King. Why is it just the Demon as it was down on NXT? But yeah, still a pretty solid match, I thought. And I'm actually interested to see, since Samson gets the win, are they going to do something with him going forward? And I'm very interested to see what's going to happen between Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. So that was a good match. We then had a backstage promo with Renee Young talking to Kurt Angle about Jason Jordan having his first match tonight. Kurt said that Jason told him not to wait. He's ready to prove himself. And of course, as he said in the exclusive interview after Raw last week, it's like he doesn't want, him being in the same brand as his biological father, who's the GM in charge. He doesn't want, favoritism or anything like that. He wants to earn it all himself, which, that's good. Again, I'll get more into Jason Jordan being Kurt Angle's son later. And then they're interrupted by Emma and asks when's the focus going to be on her, because as she keeps saying, it's all about me. And she's been thrown to the sides, and she keeps feeling like she was the one who started the women's revolution. And she said she's been getting lost in the shuffle ever since. And she made the comment of, maybe I'll get noticed if I actually start dating your son. Which at first I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, you know me, I'm not really that crazy about WWE and love stories, because let's be real, most of them really haven't really worked out. Ask Cedric Alexander, Noam Dar, and Alicia Fox, and Rusev, Dolph Ziggler, Summer Rae, and Lana, but we're not going to go down that path. But it's not going that way. And then Curt randomly makes a match between her and Nia Jax. So I'm like, okay. I mean, this is probably the lowest point of the show when the match happens, which we'll get to that shortly. But then following that, we have Enzo walk into the ring, and this Big Show pretty much saying, "Are you sure you want to do this?" And Enzo is said, "I'm ready. I'm doing this. I need to do this." He goes to the ring. So it seemed like they're still continuing with the pairing alliance, whatever, of Big Show and Enzo Amore. And I know a lot of people, like at first, like I was too crazy thinking, what if they make Enzo and Big Show a tag team? I mean, at first I wasn't crazy about it, but you think about it, if they would make them a tag team, wouldn't that kind of make sense? I mean, here's the thing: if you put Enzo in a cruiserweight division, you're never in the future going to ever see a reunion between Enzo and Big Cass, because they're not going to take anybody out of the cruiserweight division. Ask Austin Aries. But also, I mean, Enzo, I don't really see much potential in Enzo as a singles competitor, honestly. I mean, they could surprise me one day, sure. But like right now, I don't see much potential in him as a singles competitor. And if he does like find our tag team partner, as in the Big Show, which he's a veteran, but you help him elevate the guy over like Enzo, which I mean, even like since Big Show first came back to WWE after being gone for a while after the draft first happened last summer, he's come back and he had a couple good matches with Braun Strowman. And I keep saying, like, if him and Cass are going to have a feud, I actually wouldn't mind seeing it. And if they have a match at SummerSlam, like as long as he helps put over Cass, like he did put over Strowman, I'm completely fine with him having a feud. But again, if they want to do Big Show and Enzo as a tag team, I think that's a decent idea to show that Enzo can still win championship gold somehow, even without Enzo. I mean, without Big Cass, either way. And if they have him Big Show, sure, we need tag teams right now in the tag team division because we don't have much depth in it at all. We only have like 3 teams, I'd say, but of course we have like 4 or 5 teams in the Raw tag team division, and well, not including Heath Slater and Rhino, because I've still heard rumors here and there that they're not going to use Heath Slater and Rhino as a tag team anymore, even though they still are, but they're barely used. The club is just, I'm sorry, the club is just a joke now. We got the Revival, which they're looking great since their return from Dash's injury. The Hardy Boys are solid, and Sheamus and Cesaro become a really good, solid heel tag team as well. So hopefully create more depth, and it could be Enzo and Big Cass being added to the tag team. I mean, Enzo and Big Show being added to the tag team division, but Enzo went out, cut another really good promo. I've been enjoying Enzo's more seriousness as a singles competitor with his promos. It's become some of the best promos of his career, I think, ever since him and Big Cass split up. And of course, Big Cass comes up and just squashes Enzo again. I've been enjoying, with the exception of the entrance music, I've been really enjoying what they have done with Big Cass as his turning heel. And then Big Show comes out, and Big Cass was threatening Big Show, saying, you come in here and, I will, break Enzo's neck. Big Show went in and Big Cass threw Enzo at Big Show, and again, Big Cass just, mauled him down. And I know a couple weeks ago, people were a little upset whenever Enzo walked away when the Big Show first confronted him. But the past 2 weeks, and Big Cass has laid out Big Show. And he hasn't walked away from it at all, but he's beat the living crap out of him. So I mean, again, I'm still enjoying this. I kind of hope they start taking the story to a different level, add what's next to the story, not just keep having just Big Show come down there and they just fight, get a little more personal, have these two get cut a promo or so on each other. And we'll see where it goes. Again, I am completely fine if they want to do a Big Show and Big Cass match at SummerSlam, even on the pre-show. So let's see what's going to happen there. We then have a backstage promo with Alexa Bliss being asked who she would rather face, Sasha or Bayley, in the upcoming number 1 contenders match night between Bayley and Sasha Banks, and she isn't worried about that, and she just looking forward to seeing their friendship between Bayley and Sasha Banks slowly fall apart. And then we have the match between Nia Jax and Emma. It was a squash match. Pretty much, Nia just destroyed Emma. I feel bad for Emma. She has had it rough, since she came back to the main roster. She was reinvented down NXT, and her heel character is much better than her goofy-looking dancing character she had before. And then she gets injured. They try to bring her back with this whole new Emmalina gimmick because they want to make some fashion model character, and it just wasn't working out. So then they had to pull the plug on that, and then they brought her back to her normal self, and then she's just been getting squashed ever since. Emma deserves a lot better, honestly, and getting squashed by Nia Jax, which this match of course helps Nia Jax because she's looking more dominant than most of the women in the division. But yeah, I mean, we'll see where it goes from there. Hopefully better things come for Emma and Nia Jax. Probably the lowest point of this show. And the only thing I didn't really enjoy. We then get a backstage promo with Akira Tazawa, and they're showing how last week Tazawa hurt his shoulder, and Titus O'Neil, his manager, called the match, and Tazawa was upset. He's like, I never quit. He asked for a rematch against Daivari, and I do not know what happened on that rematch on 205 Live, because I'm not watching 205 Live, and I am not ever again after what happened with Talking Smack, and I put 205 Live on the list. Which, speaking of Talking Smack, also for your viewers out there, I want to know your thoughts. Also, did anybody at all? Hey Robbie, crispy, tangy, honey mustard barbecue flavor. Had to get that out there for you, Robbie. Thanks for tuning in. Anyways, I completely lost my train of thought there. Shoot. Oh yeah. Anyways, stuff on the list. Last night I put Talking Smack on the list. After Battleground, and this, viewers who are watching right now, if you saw Talking Smack after Battleground, it's like, do you think the set looked like complete crap? It's like, first you're going to downgrade the set. I mean, first you're not going to show the show like, you know, weekly anymore, just after pay-per-views like Raw Talk. And then you have like a crappy looking set. Like, you're doing this on purpose. Like, what is going on? But I'll leave that more for SmackDown tomorrow. But there actually is something I do want to put on the list before I continue on, since we were talking about 205 Live, and that there was a Sonic commercial tonight with the Hardy Boys and Bayley. Pretty much, you know, Bayley. If you know, she was talking about Bayley saying the excitement of their big return, but then all of a sudden they it's just another Sonic commercial. And I'm sorry, Sonic commercials, most commercials don't really work well this show between WWE superstars and you know, food products or whatever. So you know what happens, Sonic commercials, when you make Bayley look even more like a fool than she already is. Sonic commercials, you just made the list. Okay, this pen's not working well. Don't make me put you on the list again. Sonic commercials. Okay, I'd get it off. But anyways, back to Tazawa. Remember that Mark Henry Chicago pizza commercial? I actually do not remember that, Rob. You might have to send me the link to that. I gotta see that one again. But anyways, back to 205 Live. We got Tazawa and pretty much reviewing like what happened last week as he injured his shoulder. I didn't watch 205 Live, but apparently he kept saying he wanted another rematch against Tazawa. So even though Titus kept saying, no, I canceled the match, I talked to Kurt Angle, it's not going to happen, he still walked to the ring, and he even, like, you know, I pushed Titus O'Neil, pretty much saying, I'm being serious about this. Then it was commercial break. And after the commercial, Neville comes out and says that I just need to refresh my memory real quick. He says that he could never go toe-to-toe with the King of the Cruiserweights, calls Tazawa a joke and a shell of his former self, and Tazawa attacks him. And then after, like, you know, Tazawa was getting the upper hand on Neville, there comes Arya Daivari, who came out, and he attacked Tazawa. But then he also attacked Neville as well, and it set up a match between Daivari and Neville for tomorrow night. So I mean, this is a decent segment. Like, I do like how, you know, we're telling some type of a story here with you know, Tazawa being this underdog. You know, he's hurt. Kind of like that. Kind of like how back in 2000, it feels like 2013, whenever Daniel Bryan was being, like, you know, challenged, and he was put in these matches, and at the same time, whenever they pulled the plug on one of his matches. Well, it was the match where Daniel Bryan first hurt his neck, but it kind of feels the same way. But it's building that, you know, underdog story for Akira Tazawa. I just hope that this is not going to get Arya Daivari, though, into the cruiserweight picture, because I'm just not really that interested in Daivari right now. And if they're going to make him another anti-American, you know, character, because, you know, he's from Iran, which nothing wrong with that, but like, it's another one of those anti-American characters. It's like, I'm not really that interested. And they haven't really allowed me to get to know Arya Daivari too much. But you know, I digress. We'll see what happens. But this was a decent segment for the cruiserweights, and I believe it's the only segment for cruiserweights we had. And then we have a backstage promo with Sasha and Bayley talking about Sasha pretty much saying how she was aggravated with Alexa Bliss, what she's saying about them, but she keeps saying, I can't wait to get her hands on them. And of course, that's tension with, you know, like Bayley, you know, I want to be a champion just as bad as you. And you know, the same old thing with, you know, like Sasha pretty much saying we're friends, but it's pretty much showing that she's more focused on getting her hands on Alexa Bliss and becoming the next Raw Women's Champion. So, and then we have, after the commercial, we have another backstage segment with Renee Young talking to Jason Jordan about his first match on Raw, even though a couple times they kept advertising that was going to be next, but it kept getting put off until towards the end of the show. who knows? Jason Jordan and Curt Hawkins could have been the main event of tonight. Yeah, Curt Hawkins in the main event. He'll be the main event of WWE main event, which I've only watched that show one time in my life. But yeah, so Jordan says since the announcement of Kurt Angle being his dad, he knows all eyes are on him, but he is ready for the scrutiny. The acting is also that's Smart Out Moment's opinion of how he thought the acting was a little bit bad, but I thought it was a decent promo by Jason Jordan. I mean, I'll get into my thoughts now about Jason Jordan being Kurt Angle's son. What? Because of Robbie in the comment section. But honestly, I mean, I'm interested in this whole angle with Jason being Kurt Angle's son. But the only thing is I feel like that it didn't quite live up to the hype. And like, of course, it's another beef about me saying, how the tag team division keeps split up now. American Alpha have split up. Maybe it's best for them for Chad Gable and Jason Jordan have their singles runs and maybe split them up. And then when they come together on the same brand, then they're probably one of them is going to turn heel, maybe feud with them, and maybe Jason Jordan turning heel. Maybe him, becoming more full of himself. Because I see Chad Gable be more of like an underdog than Jason Jordan. But yeah, I think this could be good for Jason Jordan. We'll see going forward. Again, I just feel like it didn't quite live up to the hype. We really thought something big was going to happen. It was like, it felt like that firework just went up and made a little noise, but didn't really make much. You know what I mean? As a lot of people compare it to. But again, I'm so interested. I think this could really help Jason Jordan and to see going forward. Yes, we do not boo an American hero. That is correct, Robbie. And then we had another backstage promo as well with Seth pretty much talking to Dean Ambrose about their match tonight, but Dean Ambrose clearly has no interest at all in being friends with Seth Rollins again. And I like this because when Seth and Roman were first crossed paths since Seth had turned face last fall, they just made it seem like, yeah, we're cool, no big deal, we're friends again, let's move on. There was no tension between them. But this has been interesting. There is tension between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose because Dean Ambrose refuses to accept Seth Rollins' apology and move on. He's being stubborn, and he pretty much says, I don't have 3 guys out there that I need to worry about. I have 4 guys that I need to worry about. So you're wondering, is this starting to tease the heel turn between Dean Ambrose or not? Is there really going to be a Shield reunion? Well, it does not look like there's going to be a full Shield reunion anytime soon now, since Roman Reigns is focused on Universal title picture. So I think Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, maybe they could both fight the Miz for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam, or it could be just a match between the 2 of them, which I'd much rather have it just the 2 of them, have the roles reversed. That's definitely a SummerSlam worthy match. We haven't seen these 2 go at it. Well, I mean, they went at it last year twice before the Shield triple threat at Battleground, but I feel like it feels longer than that. And I feel like with the roles reversed, it's going to make the match very interesting as well. A lot of people are going to, want to buy into it. But yeah, so we'll see. We'll get to that later, which that ended up being the main event tonight. We then have Sasha Banks versus Bayley, and the winner will face Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship at SummerSlam. And, I was a little disappointed that they're having this match now because this is more of a SummerSlam or even a WrestleMania main event. This was the match I thought 2 months ago we would be getting at SummerSlam between these 2. I even thought as early as, WrestleMania, well, they were involved in the Fatal 4-Way elimination match, which that match was all right. And I thought that's when Sasha would turn on Bayley to ruin her WrestleMania moment, lead to a feud down the line between Sasha and Bayley at SummerSlam in the same place where they stole the show at 2 years ago at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and I was there that night to witness it. No, we got the match, and for being a match on Raw, I thought it was good, and I thought that it made us wanting these more between these 2. They worked so well together in a ring, but I think it was great for a Raw match. pretty much. And although I had the bad feeling that, like, oh goodness, Alexa Bliss is going to just interfere, do the same old crap of, oh, I think if I just, beat them both down and double elimination, or one gets disqualified or something like that, we're not going to face any of them, and they're going to make it into a triple threat. That's the same old crap. I didn't want that. I wanted a one-on-one match. And to the surprise, and yes, Robbie, Extreme Rules 2017, rest in peace, Bayley's career. But to the surprise, though, somehow Bayley pulled off the win. I was surprised. I was really thrown off. I was not shocked as whenever the Great Khali came back last night, but I was really surprised to see Bayley win. Like, it didn't feel like it had that completion to the match, and it makes you feel like there is more to this. So that turn by Sasha, that's coming. It's really coming, and I had this feeling it was going to happen tonight during that stare down between Alexa Bliss and Bayley. I mean, I am a little disappointed, honestly, that it's not going to be Sasha and Alexa Bliss, because it still feels too soon to put Bayley back into the Raw women's title picture, especially after she got literally, that's why Robbie just said in the comments section and in the live chat, RIP Bayley's career at Extreme Rules 2017, because she was literally buried. Like, she had a weak run as Raw Women's Champion. I mean, she had a decent match against Charlotte when she first won it back on Raw before Fastlane. But, after that, Sasha was there helping Bayley. She proved herself to be a legitimate champion at WrestleMania, which, I mean, wasn't as good as I hoped for, but, I was okay with how things went down at WrestleMania. But the match I felt that really needed to happen at SummerSlam was Sasha and Alexa, and then have Sasha run with the title and have Bayley, recover. And I feel like they're rushing her back way too quickly in that Raw Women's title picture. I'm not going to take away from the match. I'm just a little surprised at the result, but we'll see what happens here. There is a story, though, here. And after the match, Sasha did not look too pleased. Like, she looked kind of upset and gave Bayley, that death glare. And it's not over. Sasha could turn heel before SummerSlam, or she could turn heel at SummerSlam and attack Bayley, and we'll probably either have a triple threat, or the Sasha and Bayley match, first on one of the main roster, will take place probably at No Mercy, the first Raw pay-per-view after SummerSlam. So, but other than that, again, still a really solid match between these two, and I look forward to seeing them on pay-per-view on the main roster eventually. And then we had the promo, Curt Hawkins saying he doesn't care about Jason Jordan. He should be talking about me, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, Curt, we all know you're going to lose. You should never came back. We don't care about you. Have a good day. Face the facts. And then had the match be Curt Hawkins, Jason Jordan. Again, what did you really expect? You didn't really expect Jason Jordan to lose to Curt Hawkins. If he did, that'd be a huge surprise. But, good way to start off again. Again, like I said before, not as thrilled with the result of him being Kurt Angle's son, because I felt that the hype just wasn't built up there for it. But I do look forward to seeing what's going to happen with Jason Jordan down the line. He could get a title shot for the Intercontinental title, maybe at SummerSlam, if they don't have Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins still feuding with the Miz Taraj. But that's my thoughts on that. We move on now. The promo in the ring, the Revival. The top guys were in the ring, and the top guys look good tonight, because who does not love the Revival on the main roster? They come out, and they first are going to interview from Charlie Caruso, whatever her name was. They're like, no, we got this. You can, go do whatever you want. They cut their promo. Then the Club come out and sets up a match between the Club and the Revival. I mean, it's a little hard to take these tag team matches a little seriously, since most of the tag team division on Raw is our heels. But I thought this was a good match, and the Hardy Boys even came out also, kind of caused a little bit of a distraction on the Club. I thought it was a little goofy, but the Revival still get the win, still looking strong. They look as good as they did down at NXT with their great heel tactics that I really enjoy. So, I was glad. And then afterwards, the Hardys came down there, and they And they attack the Revival. So, I mean, I'm still really confused as to what's going to happen between the tag team division at SummerSlam. I really thought the Hardy Boys were going to win the titles back at Great Balls of Fire, because I have heard rumors that apparently Sheamus is taking some time off in August to film a movie. So I don't know if they'll be back in time for defend their titles at SummerSlam. I thought maybe they'll give them to the Hardy Boys. That way they'll be defended, but we'll see what happens. I mean, there could be other plans down the line for the Raw Tag Team division that we don't know about, but we'll just have to see. And then a promo backstage, The Miz pumping up the Miz Taraj before their 3-on-2 handicap match. And then the match itself between the Miz Taraj and Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, decent match. I mean, you couldn't really ask for too much more, because you got Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, so I'm glad they're finally doing something with them. But they haven't. When's the last time you really saw Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas in the main event? There was one time in the match I remember Bo Dallas actually took a similar bump, similar to how Enzo Amore did at the #1 Contenders match at Payback in 2016 against the Vaudevillains. I hope Bo's okay. Dean and Seth. For most of the match, it looked like Dean was purposely leaving Seth in there, pretty much wanting to have Seth get beaten up by all of them. So, it's pretty much, well, I don't want to get so far ahead of myself, but they did have, their double suicide dive out and taking out the Miz Taraj. And it was look like that the Miz was about to defeat them when he hit the Skull Crusher. Now that Dean Ambrose, but Seth Rollins broke up the pin. And then later, he was about to do it again, but then Seth did a flying knee to the side of Miz's head, and then Ambrose with the Dirty Deeds to pick up the win. After the match, they were celebrating. Dean gave Seth a hug a couple times, and he was all fired up and such. I don't know if it was more because he was just happy about finally getting his hands on the Miz and defeating him, or if he was just playing mind games with Seth. Because afterwards, Seth put out his hand like, hey, we in this together, we cool. And I kept thinking maybe we were going to get the heel turn from Dean Ambrose tonight. I thought it was going to happen, but it did not happen, as Dean Ambrose just walked out of the ring, just kept on walking. So it keeps you wondering, what's going to happen with the relationship between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, which I like how that ended. I'm continuing to like this little story between these two, because I feel like, I mean, it's not quite as exciting, because since Roman Reigns is in the Universal title picture, I'm very doubtful now they're going to have a Shield reunion sometime. It's like a full Shield reunion anytime soon before SummerSlam. They could, but you don't know. But they maybe turn Dean Ambrose heel and have that that big reunion when they're officially a team again. Maybe a couple more years down the road, we'll have to see what happens. But I like that, because it keeps making us wonder. Okay, they won a match, they seem cool, but then Dean's just like, you know what? Nah, I'm out of here. We had a good match, we defeated them. Goodbye. But I'm pretty sure we're gonna get more of this in the upcoming weeks. But yeah, that is pretty much it for reviewing this episode of Raw. Let's look at the live chat here real quick. What we have here, we got Christopher Simmons saying, "I loved when Braun threw the security guard that was icing to the cake. That shows how Strowman monster Strowman is." Cool way to put it. Yes, definitely. Definitely keeps making Braun going over the deep end pretty much with all these beatdowns and such. Robbie says, "Mike, after tonight and last night, which women's division do you think is stronger?" I mean, I would still have to kind of lean towards SmackDown, because SmackDown has made me believe that pretty much every woman, well, right now to me, except for maybe Tamina and maybe Lana right now, could win the women's championship. But you got, Naomi, who, despite not always defending her title every single pay-per-view since winning the championship, she's been a good champion. Charlotte can win the championship. Becky Lynch, Natalya, Carmella. Did I miss somebody? Even if Nikki Bella comes back, again, I am all for Nikki Bella even getting a title shot. So Raw, I mean, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax is almost there. Bayley's back in, but everybody else after that, I'm just not feeling title picture really for them. Well, Mickie James, if they would actually do something with her, but they really haven't since they split her and Alexa up. So yeah, I still have to go with a SmackDown's division. Robbie also says, sorry, Curt, but face the facts. It's all about the power of love. Mike and Curt connection. Oh my goodness. Actually, you know, now to think of it, I don't know if you may have mentioned this, but I think they do kind of look alike. Mike Kanellis and Curt Hawkins do look kind of similar with the hairstyle. And all you have to do, Mike, is believe. Man, I still believe that maybe one day Bo Dallas will win a championship because I believe in Bo Dallas. I believe in Curtis Axel, but we'll see what happens. But and then also before I go off the air, I do like also how the past week's Raw has been advertising matches for the following week. I mean, they've done stuff involving that match on the show, or some of that segment on the show. It's not like how in NXT or how SmackDown used to be before Superstar Shakeup, how they'd be like advertising something that happened last week, saying, well, this happened last week, this, but next week, blah, 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 makes us looking forward to. And next week, they're having two things already advertised, which is the Miz TV segment with Jason Jordan, and they're having a triple threat match next week between Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe. 3 of the 4 competitors in the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam. And in fact, also next week, Raw will be in my hometown, Pittsburgh, PA, which I will be attending with my good friend Daniel Gaiza. So with Raw picking up, I'm really looking forward to next week. I'm so excited. It's going to be so worth the money, especially, you know, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Samoa Joe. Again, take my money now. I'm going to so enjoy this episode of Raw next week. But tonight's episode of Raw was a really good episode, and it really did make me more excited for SummerSlam. This made me feel like we were on the road to SummerSlam. Watching, you know, Battleground or Backstage to SmackDown Live, I have not felt that, you know, vibe like, oh, we're getting close to SummerSlam. It has not felt that way. But with Raw, it has. I hope we get the same result tomorrow on SmackDown Live. So, again, first off, before I go off the air, I will give my my grade for Raw tonight a B+, a really high and solid B+. I was thinking more maybe an A- because the only thing I didn't really enjoy was the Nia Jax and Emma match. It was more of a squash match, but I felt like if the show would have been an A, they needed something else kind of big, like if Sasha or Dean turned heel, I probably would have given this show an A-. Robbie also says in the chat, damn shame how Raw has failed to utilize Mickie when she did well on SmackDown Live. I agree. And did you see the My Black Sun video tweeted you and the Horseman? Actually, I apologize. I did not, Robbie. I'm sorry. I was away all weekend out in the woods camping, so I will definitely check that out after I get off tonight. But yes, what is your grade for Raw tonight? Again, I gave it a really good B+. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. And again, this is my first ever live Raw review. I look forward to keep doing more of these. I probably won't do one right away when I get home next week, so I'll be attending Raw live. But there will be a review of SmackDown tomorrow night and then NXT. Maybe not right away after NXT because I don't always watch NXT live, but that'll be happening sometime this week. Please click that like and subscribe button for more content on my channel. And always please follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93. And speaking of which, let me pull up my Twitter poll tonight to see what grade everybody was giving for Raw tonight. And I'm in the live chat if you want to as well. Robbie says, I'm giving your review an A. Thank you very much, Robbie. As always, please check out Robbie's channel as well at Robbie1 Kenobi. And also my other two Horseman brothers, Daniel Gaiza's channel, and my friend Gene from BSP Wrestling as well. Check out their channels as well. Oh, and also, actually, my Battleground poll results are finalized from last night. So if anybody is interested, what grade would you give Battleground from last night? And I said, not a hard question. And I also did the hashtag of a Fire Road Dog. 4% said A, 5% said B, 7% said C, and 84% said D from Battleground last night. And that's 81 votes. 84% said D. It was not a tough poll from last night. As for my poll tonight for Raw, I have 11 votes so far. 36% said A, 36% said B, 18% said C, and 10% said D. So we got some pretty good reviews and grades for tonight's episode of Raw. Again, I hope this keeps going as we're on the road to SummerSlam. This really got me excited for SummerSlam. Hopefully SmackDown can start turning it around and get back on track to where it was before, because I refuse to quit on Team Blue. And, so hopefully things pick up again. So thank you all for tuning to this first live Raw review. I'll be live again tomorrow night after SmackDown for my live review of SmackDown Live, the fallout from the dreadful Battleground episode. But that will be next tomorrow night, probably around 10:15 after SmackDown Live ends. So stay tuned then. Until then, guys, I am the Club Man 1993. I'm signing out. Take care, everyone, and have a good night.